The 12 Days of Christmas. Do you like that song? It can get annoying after a while, right? The origin of this Christmas carol is not sure, but it's probably from a children's memory game and first published in 1780. Participants were required to repeat a verse of poetry recited by the leader, and players that made an error were required to pay a penalty, either in a confection or in a kiss. So you know the lyrics of the 12 Days of Christmas, but our focus for this Devo on the sound is the 4 calling birds. And supposedly the 4 calling birds are the 4 Gospels in the Bible: Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. Since we're referring to the sounds of the season, what's calling from these 4 Gospels? I'm so glad you asked. I recently went back and read the synopses of the books of the Bible, and honestly, it lit a fire in me just realizing again how the message of God's love is strung together from throughout the Bible in succession, in rhythm and in an amazing melody of God's goodness. So the books are calling to us. Let's look at Matthew. Matthew's main purpose is to prove to the Jewish leaders that Jesus is the true Messiah, and part of this is emphasizing the lineage of Jesus. This was important. I'm guessing if someone were to ask you what your favorite verses were in the Bible, you wouldn't say the lineage. I'm guessing that most of us skip over those verses. Kings had to be regal to be established on a throne, and so calling out the lineage of Jesus in Matthew was paramount for those listening in order to believe. Can you hear that calling bird? Mark is the second calling bird, and it seems to be associated with Rome, where the Christians were being persecuted. Mark calls out to prepare the readers for suffering, as there are many references to this throughout the book. There's the emphasis on the cross, discipleship, Jesus' teachings, and the humanity of Jesus. And in 12:9, we are reminded that the stone the builders rejected became the capstone. Can you hear this call to behold him? The third calling bird, Luke, gives to us accounts of Jesus' discourse with people. The main theme of the story of Jesus in Luke is the nature of his mission, a key verse being 19:10, the Son of Man came to seek and save those who are lost. We know Jesus now from the first calling bird is the true Messiah. He was rejected but marvelous, according to Mark. And now in Luke, we hear that his mission is to go after those that don't know him and rescue them from death. What a great call to hear. John's the 4th calling bird, and this book is rather different than the other 3 in that its focus is on the signs of Jesus, of his identity and his long, rich theology. We are told that he was in the beginning with the creation. We read that what he does on earth glorifies his Father, and we read of this great relationship between Father and Son. And of course, John 3:16, God so loved the world that he gave his one and only Son, that whoever believes will have life. So the purpose of this writer is clearly stated in John 20:31, that we will believe in Jesus and in believing have life. So some may say the 12 Days of Christmas has no spiritual meaning whatsoever, and who knows, maybe it doesn't. But it's a catchy tune, and maybe now we will think of the great arrival of our true Savior and what it means to all of us when we hear the 4 calling birds and smile, whatever the original meaning may have been.